Hey everybody, and welcome to Robin's House. Today we're working on the In Full Bloom scrapbooking workshop. And one of the techniques in this workshop is using a stencil to create texture behind here with a texture paste, so that we have a stencil with some lines on it. We have some with the little dots, some dashes, and then some stripy diagonal stripies. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to mix it up and practice and get it on your pages. And then at the end, we'll go through and actually put it on your pages so you can kind of see how to do it, and then we'll walk you through. Okay, so the first thing is you got texture paste, and in this case, they want us to use peacock feathers, and we have a knife and our stencil. And with this stencil, it is very small and it has a lot of things going on. So I also recommend that you have some Post-its so you can mask things. And before I forget, because I will, because this is a paste, I recommend that you cut a piece of baggie and put it as an extra layer of protection to keep your texture paste soft longer. So don't forget to do that. Okay, so how do you make colored texture paste? So number one is it gets dark really fast. And I also wouldn't make too much at one time because it dries pretty quick. So for a pretty dark color, I only put a half an inch of, I took my ink pad and rubbed it on the all-purpose mat for just a half an inch. And then I'm going to take a little bit of texture paste and I'm going to add the color. It works just the same as with icing. And then I'm just going to mix it up, make sure all that white is gone, although there is some value in having white in there also. And then, so we take some cardstock and we add our, what is that, stencil to it. And I'm just going to use my Post-it note. Just number one, stick the stencil down. Number two, to block off areas that I don't want to get stenciled as I'm working with these particular stripes. And then the other part that was hard for me also was the edge. So in a lot of your stencils, you can choose to keep that edge, that nice edge. And if you do want to keep the nice edge, add a stencil there as well. I'll put it on this side just so it's not in the same place as my my texture paste pile. And then this will also keep my my paper stuck to the all-purpose mat. So, and then all you do is you take your paste and add it into the stencil. And then you can either go all the way across or leave it shabby on one end or both ends. You can start in the middle if you want, but I found that if I did not use texture, if I did not use Post-its, it did not go well because I'm gonna just use all this up. You don't want to make, I assume you don't want to make too much because it dries pretty quick. By the time we go through the pages, by the time we're done with the third page, the first page will probably be dry. So there's that. I've got, again, peel up my Post-its. Look at how pretty that is. So nice. So that's all you do. And then if you want it darker, you put more ink on here or less paste. If you want it lighter, you put less ink on here and more paste. And you can go through the shapes so you can see, can you see these shapes? Okay, so we've got stripes. We've got some kind of diagonal ones, and it all works the same. Maybe we can see the shapes a little better if we But you can see your tool will go off the stencil if you just want to do it. But those are the different shapes that we have. And so when I did my first version of this, I took my ink thing and I put a lot of ink down, and I got this gorgeous color. It's very, very pretty, very dark side of Lagoon. And so this was my first trials playing with this. You can see that I didn't stencil it off, or I didn't Post-it note it off. And so my things would go off the page when I didn't want it to. It obviously goes into the other sections. So you definitely want to use those Post-its. And then you can also see that this is a lighter color than this. I did it more the technique that I just did with you. Here we go. So those are almost the same color, although this is lighter, so I'm getting better. This is probably closest to the color they want me to use. And I'm probably going to use, I don't know, it's awful pretty when it's dark, but one of the sections that we're using is actually on the dark, what is this color? Lagoon, the dark Lagoon. And so let's see what color, whatever I have left on here, what color how light this one is versus the last one that I did. So yeah, this one's a little lighter. So this one will show up real nicely. This one shows up fine, but probably a little lighter would be better. So that is the basics on how to do it. And stay tuned to the next video, and I will go through page by page how to actually put it on there. So that's a great technique if you want to work on your own. Otherwise, go find the other one. Thanks for watching. Happy crafting.